Hi everybody, Happy New Year. Hope you had a really good time during the holidays. I was quite busy and it's been very loud here, so I haven't been able to record the video. So it's been long waiting. So today I am going to talk about last year, or the year we're kind of still in, for Chinese New Year. New Year starts January 29th. So we are still in the pocket of Dragon Year, Year of the Eight, year of abundance and prosperity. Eight is infinity. So if you're not in the pocket, everything happens through cycles and patterns anyways. That's why I'm here to help you get back into the pocket and the cycles. Next year, calendar year, it is a year 9. So year 9 is really about releasing what you haven't released in an 8 year. And I definitely have been seeing this really heavy on the collective consciousness right now. There's been multiple people expressing that they're feeling the energies a lot deeper and really heavy right now, which is normal. So don't worry about that. Where you are in your journey is where you're at, and that's where the work is and where you need to be. So just going back to some of the things I was saying in the other videos, I will repeat it because I feel like it needs to be said. Don't be hard on yourself. Find that compassion and that kindness for yourself wherever you are in the present moment. Stick around because I'm going to talk about an easy way to sort of start working on releasing yourself from your old programming. And that's really what is coming up. I mean, we're getting into a state of more awareness. The collective and as individuals, I'm seeing that people are more aware of their patterns and their cycles and their behaviors and their limiting beliefs and all that stuff. And as much as you acknowledge it and it's there, reprogramming that part does take time. So I really just don't put that pressure on you. And I know you all want to get there, and believe me, I've been there, but it didn't ever work in a snap. But I did, however, come up with methods that can speed up your process and your reprogramming. A lot of what's happening right now is that people are realizing that they're wanting to change, but changing old patterns and beliefs do take time. And so sometimes when we're not feeling that we're in the pocket, that's when we start pressuring ourselves. And once we start putting up that pressure, what you'll realize is that you will be encountered with even more resistance. So the less pressure you put on yourself, the less resistance you will have to encounter and work with or through. So I just wanted to make that clear. Wherever you are at is where you are in your journey. And where you are in your journey is exactly where you need to be. This is it. It's not something that's sort of hanging in the air that you're trying to grasp at. No, it's something here that sort of just needs to be reprogrammed, either mentally or emotionally. I've been noticing a lot of people are getting stuck in their old mental habits. So thinking that they need to be somewhere at a certain point, especially once the new year hit. Some of you were looking for that spark or that drive or that fire once the new year hit. And since you're not feeling it, that's something to acknowledge. And what that is that you were so used to going in your same patterns, mental patterns, right? Being stuck or whatever, that all of a sudden you're trying to do that again this year, but it's not working. And that is a perfect spot to be in. You're, like going on automatic and, oh, it should be this way, but it's not working anymore. And that is a perfect example of you trying to break through an old pattern, an old belief. And that's okay. That's where it needs to be. It's through the awareness of the pattern, being present and noticing what these patterns and cycles are, recognizing which programs or reprogramming you need to do. And then it's the action steps. So today, I don't want you to dwell or stew in your old patterns, right? If you're noticing an old pattern come up, bring that awareness, be present, and then do something different. Do something to raise your frequency, right? Because we're going to work from, let's just say, working from your foundation of neutral. If you find yourself going lower than neutral, and you'll know because it's bringing up maybe fear or worry or frustration. And basically, if you feel yourself getting stuck mentally, right away, boom, you are stuck in your brain. And that's what you've been probably doing for a lot of your life, and we're trying to change that. So if you're finding yourself doing that, and in that moment, stay present. I said to someone today to get yourself out of that program of being sort of mentally forward, to just put your hand on your heart. Feel. You have to feel through it. You can't mentally break through something. Well, you can. You can use your brain to help you break through stuff. But if your brain is making you stuck or conjuring up negative feelings, thoughts, and emotions, then that's when your mind is not working with you, with alignment. Remember the alignment of mind, body, soul. Let me just talk about that for a little bit. So when we're talking about mind, body, soul, it is a full alignment where all parts of yourself, all aspects of yourself is moving as one unit. All aspects is I'm talking about all your emotions, all different types of aspects. Some people call it your dark shadows. I don't use that term only because I was not raised using that term, and when I was doing the work, that term wasn't popular. So, but I have to use it now just so some of you can identify with that. So all of these parts of you have to be in alignment, and it's okay for all of them to exist at the same time. Now, let's talk about your soul. Your soul is the essence of who you are. And our spirit is the part of us that expresses our soul. And then our mind and our bodies are in service, right? They're a part of us, they're in service. So when our soul and our spirit is speaking through expression, it is the mind that is supposed to figure out the how. If your soul and your spirit wants to express itself by doing something, your mind is supposed to help you figure out the how. And that's it. Your mind is supposed to serve you, serve your soul, serve your spirit. Now, with the mind figuring out the plan, and that's all it is. So there's no part of being mentally stuck that if you're being mentally stuck, go back and feel in your heart, in your solar plexus. This is where our energy center is. This is where our fire lives. This is the life force. It's almost like Iron Man, and it is true. So if you find that you're getting stuck mentally, bring yourself back to being heart-centered and remind yourself, your brain is and your mind is supposed to help you figure out the how, right? And then your body is the tool or the vehicle to do the action from the mind, from the how, right? So it's soul, spirit, mind, and then body. And that's how you get everything to work and be in alignment. Now, for myself, my brain doesn't get in the way. So usually when I get inspired or I want to do something, I get a feeling and then I just go into action right away. And it took some time to program myself that way. And in order for you to be in alignment, for everything to sort of work in flow, this is why I was talking about dealing with your past traumas, dealing with anything that's not settled inside of you. So it could be your work, your job, your relationships, how you value yourself. And these are things that I have talked about in the previous videos. And those are things are what's going to help you get into alignment so everything is firing. We're going to focus more about releasing, because that is a very, very big theme for this year, so that you can get into the pocket of even like next year, right? Next year, for some of you, will be the new numerical cycle of new beginnings. So that's why this year is going to be really important to really start working towards shedding, working towards releasing. Because a 9 year is all about, coming to a place in our present moment where we sort of gather and we do inner reflection of the past period. It could be the past year, it could be the past couple years, it could be the past period of your life. And so going into a new chapter. So hence why this year, focus more on releasing, and then also start doing the reprogramming. Start getting yourself into healthy and positive habits, right? It's all about preparation. And the more preparation you do, the more higher frequency and vibration that you can get yourself into this year will be the momentum that will sort of propel you for next year. So we're going to work on that, being present, focusing on releasing. Now, I'll give you an example about how I mentally reprogram myself to stop thinking about something. So releasing whatever it is thought it was. I've had a couple relationships that I had to say goodbye to. These are just friendships that it was just time to move on. And unfortunately, it ended with a little bit of negativity on their end, which I had already expected. So that part I wasn't surprised about. And there's nothing more that I could do. Ending a relationship, and then how do I move on from that? How do you move on from whether it's a new relationship or a job, an old job? Or right now, we're just going to practice on seeing how easy is it going to be for you to sort of let go of a thought, right? So after I had let go of the relationship and communicated to that, it was still weighing on me heavily. It was weighing on my heart, it was weighing on my mind, and I knew that, well, I said goodbye to this relationship, so I must clear it and get it out, let go, release. And I found myself stewing. Well, before, I found myself stewing over things for like days and perhaps even weeks. But at this time, I was stewing for maybe a day. And because I've been very conscious about my own process and my own reprogramming, you have to test yourself. You have to challenge yourself. And sometimes it's just a mental thing that you have to break. Sometimes it's as easy as that. Sometimes it isn't connected to something heavier, right? If it's connected to something heavier, you still try this. Because after you try this, if it's heavier stuff is still coming up, then you know that you have a little bit more of work to do internally. So doing that internal exploration, right? So the mental practice, and it is very simple and it's very easy. Stop thinking about it, really. And you have to test yourself. So let's just say, that morning I woke up and I started thinking about it. And then you have to be present and catch yourself, right? Because my camera keeps on shutting off. I don't know why. So if you're finding yourself mentally stewing about something, use your intention, but through awareness and through being present. It's like, okay, I know I should stop thinking about this. So now I'm going to use my intention. I want to try and break this cycle, break this programming. So easy. Test yourself. Just say to yourself, I'm going to try and not think about this for the next hour. Start small. We always start small, right? And if you can get through that, then the next time you start stewing again mentally, make it longer. Because remember, you successfully stopped thinking about it for an hour. So now we're going to bump it up if it starts hitting you mentally again. So the next one would be, if that thought comes up, then it would be, okay, now I'm going to not think about it for 3 hours, and then so forth. And then it'll go away. Things that can help you forget about this, about things that come up, is get busy, do something, take action, go clean something, go do something that you've been procrastinating. It could be anything small, right? The only thing that we're trying to do is break your mental pattern, and that's all. So it could be anything. It could just be even going out for a walk. So you get to choose whatever. Just get your mind off of it by using your body and taking the action, right? Because usually once we start taking actions with our body, we're out of our minds, you know? And then keep going. If the thought enters again, try not thinking about it for half a day, you know? And then again, if it comes in again, try not thinking about it for a day. And then the day will turn into a couple days. The couple days will turn into a week. The week will turn into weeks and months. And then all of a sudden you realized, wow, now I could just not think about it just in a snap. So you have to take yourself through that journey of reprogramming yourself step by step, right? Just making these sort of thresholds that you're not going to think about it for X amount of time. So that's how you can start mentally releasing yourself. So like I said, this is just a really easy mental exercise that you can do, but it's an exercise to reprogram yourself to help you release and let go and also get out of your brain. Also, another way to get out of your brain, I've said to somebody, just feel, right? Because that's first and foremost what dominates our entire being. We live and experience through feeling. We do live and experience through our mind, but it's more of like a perception of our reality. But it feels more real when you feel it. So if you find yourself energy here, bring it down to your heart, bring it down to your solar plexus. And you could do that by watching something that like lifts you up. Like I said in a previous video, I watch a lot of baby animal videos or like baby videos, and that gets me right here. So do that. You have to remember to do it though. Don't allow yourself to stew. Because if you're allowing yourself to stew over it, you're allowing yourself to be stuck, right? And so the whole video about sort of getting out of your mind, being unstuck, taking the action, finding ways to get yourself into a higher frequency pocket. So this is really just a part of breaking your mental programming. And we have many programs that we run on automatic that we aren't really aware of. Some other things that you can do to ask yourself is, what other mental programs am I running automatic on? What are some things that I'm continuously thinking about, but it's not really a productive thinking? It's more of being stuck. It's just going around in the mental cycle, in that mental circle. I would just be in observation of yourself throughout your day to see what types of things that you're mentally hanging on to, and try and see if you can break that mental process. Now, it's different if you are using your mind to think about things to sort of try and figure out the how. But like I said earlier, if it's just thoughts that are sort of ruminating and they're just going around in circles, your mind is working against you and not in alignment with self. So this video is just really about taking inventory and an account of where your mind is at, and see how it's serving you, see in which ways it's not serving you. And then once you're aware of that, just try and break that pattern, try and change things, because we do want our minds to be on point. We do want our minds to be working for us and serving us. Our minds are so powerful. And once we learn how to master our minds, then we're able to really unleash the power of our minds to work with ourselves. And you are way more powerful than you even think. And I see it all the time. And sometimes all we need is just a reminder of how powerful we are. So let me be that reminder for you. And try the exercise. Just try not thinking about something and dwelling on things for X amount of time and see where you go. And one day you won't even need to intentionally think about that anymore. One day you will just be able to, oh, I'm thinking about this. I don't want to think about this. So then you get to make that intentional choice. Boom, I'm going to remove it. I'm not going to think about it. And I'm going to move on to doing something that's more fun, that's more enjoyable, or more productive. I will leave the video at this. I hope you found this helpful. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and share to people that you think that this would help. So God bless you. I hope you're all well. You have all of my love and all of my support, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.